So yeah, I wasn't really sure what to do with this one. Sort of gone in on a whim, trying to apply what I've learned so far on the Stacey Burke strategy. It's could be a bit of a tricky day because look, we've got we've had we're on day 2. It's Thursday, so we've had day 1 peak formation over here, right? And this was yesterday's low. So we've broken that low on day 2, which is over here. We've broken this low today in the US Open, 15 minutes before the equities hours. So given that this is day 2 and it could be a day 2 runner. However, we've had let's look, and we're still on the front side of the equities. Well, not really, we've sort of pierced it. We're actually on the outside, I mean, depending on where you draw the trend line. So that's interesting, right? So we could so basically this is either a 2-day runner or this is going to be a sort of an inside day. I mean, we've closed 15-minute. We've had a 15-minute close below yesterday's low. But this could quite easily be a scenario where this is kind of like the spring. This is accumulation. This turns out to be the peak formation for the session in the US. And we head up into the low-hanging fruit of all of this downtrend. So we get this sort of scenario. Head and shoulders, we could come right back up into here, or this is going to be, that's our less favored scenario because we're actually short already, or this is going to be a so we come out, this will be the peak formation here. This is the consolidation that we're breaking out of, and we'd actually say, no, we're still inside of the, we've had sort of a fake out scenario. Fake out, and we're heading down to break 112 into all of this down here. Yeah, so that's where we're at in terms of the market. Pretty poor jobless claims. Kashkari, Fed speaker, sounded pretty hawkish. US stocks have opened lower. They're off the low of the futures. DXY is trying to head higher. Are US bonds catching up? Because actually the dollar is leading the bonds. Yeah, great. So we've had that breakout. So that's looking good for our thesis to the downside. So we better actively monitor this. So if we go down to a 1-minute chart now, so we've had this peak formation. We filled in this fair value gap. Now this is supposed to run pretty hard. It's starting to slow up a bit. And then just on the fundamental basis, really, why this should continue low. The dollar should be rising because, I mean, we've got the risks of global recession spurring up again in sentiment. The Bank of England have come in buying bonds. You've got more sentiment around a recession in Europe circling today. Now, I'm going to be sensible and move the stop loss to break even because, again, this thesis of it being a head and shoulders pattern could play out. You just never know. We're not in at 50. We got in down here at 40. But having said that, if we put a stop in at break even here, this can easily ping up, stop us out, and move back down. So we're going to need to wait for a close. We've got a couple of minutes. We want to see it close below the lows. Get it close below the lows, then we're more confident that this is going down. And if we were to get a spike up, we'd just be unlucky on the manipulation. But if we were to put a stop in here, I mean, this still perhaps needs to come up and retest again before we move down. And we've got solid resistance here, and we're above that. Now, unfortunately, it looks like we're going to get, fuck's sake, we're going to get a bullish close on this candle. That's a pain in the ass. So this is, we need to fill this up, or we could be heading up for the pain trade. I mean, stocks are heading lower. We're on the back side of the trend. Peak formation. Yesterday's lows down here. I mean, this is a bearish day for risk, so this has got to be reflected through the pound, surely. But this is just going up. It's going in reverse of stocks. It's lagging. Right, so the dollar is up at resistance. Right, we need this to hold. If this breaks, we're going to be in trouble on cable. Right, so we're starting to move in on the resistance again. This is nice. Getting some decent price action in the dollar. The stocks are below structure. We've got this W formation breaking out. We're going to be able to get into a break-even scenario on the cable. Right, we're still not closing above the lows. We've got over here on cable, we've got on the dollar, we've got support hopefully moving up into here. We're yet to see a retest of the structure in stocks, so that's something to bear in mind. More resistance coming in now with a retest. It's very important to look at the support and resistance levels whilst looking for a breakout, because the more a support or resistance is interacted with, so we can see a move back in and hopefully to roll over. So we're coming up on the stocks, coming down on the dollar, putting some heat on the trade. I'm actually thinking about adding, moving to break even and adding. I think that's the way to go. I'm risking 0.5%. Is what I'm figuring is this is now going to hold. Let's see what the dollar does. Let's see what the dollar does. Stocks. So the price is basing on the dollar over here. Stocks are resisted. Right, this is a break even. It's really basing here. The dollar's coming off, and not much more to say really. Had we seen a close, a really healthy close below this, I would have put in this limit order in anticipation of a spike up before the next move down. But because we're just basing, I'm not going to put that order in. We're just going to be out flat for the day, and stopped out at 43 rather than running 1R risk. So that's unfortunate that we didn't see a pop lower, and then I would have put in that order and we could be filled at the moment in anticipation of the next move down and a run higher in the dollar. But the dollar is basically on the backside of the trend line, and you know, it can come all the way down into 70, 60. We've got this sort of bit of support over here. Cable and stocks have come down pretty low. They have a tendency to reverse on a whim. We still haven't had the retest of that structure, so we could quite easily have a retest, stop us out, and back we go. Pretty typical. Right, decided to go in at market on that because stocks are coming down, dollar's going back up, and I can get this to a break even. Oh no, I can't. No, you can't on Trading View. Ah, bollocks. Yeah, I wanted to move that small position into break even now, but I can't. Bollocks. I'm going to have to just move the whole stock down then. That's a bloody pain in the ass. Okay. Right, break even on the whole position. Right, at this point, I'm simply moving away from the screens. It's either break even or it's going to be a superb trade.